Hey everybody, welcome back to JT channel and welcome to a video where I'm going to start like this, my happy self, and by the end I might be shouting. We're here to talk about some developing stories regarding Crown Jewel Perth, WWE's next PLESPN. I know, that's dumb, but I said it anyway. But some stuff happened after WrestlePalooza that I didn't get a chance to talk about when I was doing my review because I didn't think it was that important at the time. And then I actually had an interview this morning. That's why I'm wearing my Sunday best, I guess. I call this my Sam Winchester. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. But I wanted to hop on here as soon as I could after the interview to talk about all this because after WrestlePalooza went off the air, they did the post show, and this happened. Cody Rhodes was doing his interview, and he was confronted by Seth Rollins. And while I actually think that's cool, I love the idea of these two having another feud or whatever. It's what happened after the after that has me kind of upset and bummed out because I didn't realize Perth, the Crown Jewel show in Perth, was only like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, something like it. October 11th, I think it is. So like, that's not, like, apologies. It's not this Sunday, and I don't think it's next Sunday, but it's the following Sunday. So it's, yeah, it was like 3 weeks from yesterday, but that's not long, right? We're going to run into the problem again, but we'll talk about the problem in a second. The big issue here is that shortly afterwards, Triple H, I think, directly announced on Twitter that it's official. We're doing Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for that unbearably ugly Crown Jewel belt that we had last year, which I thought was specifically for Saudi Arabia. I thought that was like a one-time thing where Saudi Arabia got their own belt because they're fuckers and they just want to make them happy. But no, apparently we're doing it again, and this time we're jumping right into this. It's the same problem as Cody versus Gunther was. Cody versus Gunther is a great match. It was a great match, but I wanted it to be a proper feud. Everyone wanted a proper feud where Gunther went from being the world champion to being number one contender for the WWE title, and they had like this great back and forth, and then they had a match at WrestleMania where they absolutely killed each other, and Cody would barely come out on top, or Gunther would actually beat Cody Rhodes. Could you imagine? This is the same problem, right? Because Cody and Seth, they had an incredible rivalry. Cody's first feud coming back to WWE, WrestleMania 38, right? I hope I got that right. They had a match at WrestleMania, and then they had a rematch, and then they had the Hell in a Cell match. And the Hell in a Cell match is regarded as one of the best matches of both men's careers because Cody wrestled it with the torn shoulder where he had the very obvious real bruise. And of course, then they made that the focus of the match, which I'm sure they had to like change the match on the fly because Cody got so hurt. Putting these two in a random one-on-one match for a belt that no one will remember as soon as the event is over and everyone's just going to make fun of because it looks like trash sucks. It sucks and I hate it. I hate being this guy. I hate being a negative Nancy or I like being a positive Paul. It sucks that we have to do this again, that we have to do this Crown Jewel crap again, which means the other problem is that if they're doing the men's, they're going to do the women's. So again, instead of doing what you should do with Stephanie Vaquer in Australia, which is put her in a match with Rhea Ripley, you're going to do her versus the SmackDown champion, which will probably be Tiffany Stratton, I assume. I don't see them giving the title to Nia or Jade. I'm a little worried. Here's my big worry. I said little worried and then I changed it to big. My big worry is that in my head, I'm like, they're not going to change the title. They'll do Stephanie versus Tiffany. It'll be a good match. I'm mad for the same reasons I'm mad about the men's. That would be a proper feud. That would be nice. And again, not for an ugly-ass belt that no one cares about. But I'm worried that they are going to change the belt on SmackDown. I don't care who they give it to. I like Jade. I love Tiffany. And I'm a huge fan of Nia Jax. I give her praise as much as I can on this channel. Sorry about the squealing. My daughter's just having a good time. She just woke up from a nap. This is the worst time to do a video. What was I going to say? I'm concerned that they're going to give the belt to Nia just so they have a heel in the match, right? Like, WWE, this match with Seth and Cody is pretty much babyface versus babyface. People can boo Seth all they want, but they also love him to fucking death. They boo him because he's supposed to be the bad guy. And that's, by the way, this isn't alcohol. This is Kool-Aid. I'm worried that they made this match and they're doing all this so they can do Nia, so Stephanie can get a big win over Nia Jax, and then they're just going to give the belt back to Tiffany or to Jade down the line. Again, It sucks that they have to do it that way for some stupid belt, for some stupid crown jewel. Who's the crown jewel champion? We're never going to talk about it again. I genuinely left that in my memory. I remember the matches. Actually, I don't remember the women's match. I'll be completely honest with you. But Cody and Gunther stuck out in my brain hole. As soon as it was over, I made fun of the belt, I did my review, and then I moved on. No one ever talked about it again, and now I'm being reminded of this crap because they have no stories, they have no patience, they have no time. In 2024, I'm not saying WWE didn't do counter-programming last year, but it seemed like last year WWE was a lot better with stories. We still did this crap. We still hot-shotted some feuds and some matches, but in 2024, last year, they were a lot better at making everything make sense. If they were going to counter-program AEW, they would look at it on the calendar and they would start a story here before we got all the way to here where the pay-per-view was. That way, by the time the other show would come on, and yes, I know, I'm talking about counter-programming again, but that's the problem. If they had not decided to throw WrestlePalooza on the same day as All Out to counter-program All Out, there's no other reason for it, then we wouldn't be in this predicament. We would be building to Crown Jewel Perth. And even if this was still the match, like as mad as I'd be because it's still stupid, we would have had time between whatever the last event was that Clash in Paris and Crown Jewel Perth. Two fairly, like a month and a half to 2 months of a break to build stories. And I would have rather had stories. I would have rather Cody and Drew was built to Perth. I'd rather the Seth Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch stuff, fine. I know that's a long time to wait, but again, I don't freaking care. That was also rushed. No matter how happy I am about it, it was rushed. It was all rushed. Every bit of it was rushed. And we would have time to tell all these other stories, and we would have better matches. Maybe we would have had, if we would have built the matchup for the sorry, my daughter is getting a little much now. If we would have built the matches better, we could have done the world title match and the intercontinental title match in Perth. We won't do that now because we're doing the dumb Crown Jewel title stuff. But I don't get why WWE feels the need to counter-program, right? I mean, I do. Let me rephrase. I do understand what they're doing. But if they had just waited, if they had just not done WrestlePalooza, Crown Jewel could have been the first show on ESPN. No one would have bothered. No one would have argued. We would have had a better long-term story. Maybe we could have thrown Randy Orton in the world title match with Cody and Drew. Could have had a huge triple threat match to end the show in Australia. And again, I'm going to harp on this, one other thing as well, but I'm going to harp on this potentially the most, is you're wasting your opportunity with Rhea Ripley. I don't know what they're going to do with her. Maybe she's injured. I don't know. She hasn't done a lot of stuff in the ring the last few weeks. If she's not injured, then I'm seriously wondering what in God's name they're doing because she hasn't been in front of a live audience much. I hope she's not injured, obviously. But unless she's injured, you have to have her on the show. It's in Australia. So what are you doing? Are we going to do the tag match with the Kabuki Warriors, like Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors? That's fine. But again, it's Perth, Australia. You really should just be doing Rhea versus Stephanie. The fact that I'm guaranteeing we're going to get Stephanie McCare probably versus Tiffany Stratton, unless they decide to change the title for no other reason than to change the belt. That means we're not going to get that match. So they're going to have to do something else with Rhea Ripley. Again, totally fine, but that's not what you should be doing. The other thing, there's another problem here, is that it's not long enough for John Cena to get in a proper feud, which means my worst fear may come true. I don't want to jinx it. However, you can't jinx WWE. They already made up their fucking minds. I'm genuinely terrified that we're going to get a rematch between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. He's got 5 dates left, I think. I think 2 Monday Night Raws and 3 pay-per-views. I think it's 2 Raws and then Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and Goodbye John Cena show. And you're going to waste more than one on Brock Lesnar. You already wasted part of SummerSlam. Part of that his very last SmackDown appearance was a match with Sami Zayn that got thrown out because Brock Lesnar got involved. So goddamn dumb. And then you wasted his other dates on him going, I'm going to beat up Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar going to a different show in a different state and complaining he can't find John Cena. I do not want that rematch. I didn't want the first match. The first match sucked. I do not want the rematch. I'm certain that a lot of people don't want the rematch. The people in the arenas are going to react the way they're going to react. Because because it's Brock Lesnar. You know, he's a big deal, and he was gone for 2 years, first match in 2 years. Somebody had a sign in the crowd that said he shouldn't be here, and we all know why. I'm going to leave it at that. Do anything else. Again, it's not long enough to tell a proper John Cena story, especially since I don't know where those Monday Night Raws are, unless he's not wrestling in Perth. That's the only thing I can think of is he just comes out and cuts a promo, which would kind of suck, be unfair to Australia, to Perth. So, I don't know. It just, overall, I am not looking forward to this event already. Are these matches going to be good? Of course they are. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins couldn't have a bad match if they were told to have a bad match. If the script said, have a bad match or both of you are fired, they would still pull out an absolute banger. What does Simon Miller likes to say? They could, when two wrestlers are really good, they could sit in the ring and play chess and it'd get 5 stars from me. But the reason they're having the match is absolutely stupid. The Stephanie Vaquer stuff, again, you should have put her in a feud with Rhea, because Rhea kept saying she wanted to be in the title picture. And yes, it's a fast forwarding to that match as well, and that would probably upset me too. But at least then you'd have Rhea in a big match. Now I feel like we're just going to throw her in a tag. And yeah, the Brock Lesnar, John Cena stuff. I really don't want a rematch, but I really, really do think that's what's going to happen because, again, what else are you going to do? Is John going to come out on one of his Raws and get interrupted and go, oh, you interrupted me, let's have a fight? I guess that's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments. I know this is kind of a shitty, negative video. Like I said at the beginning, I don't like being a negative Nancy. I'd rather be a positive Paul, but here we are. I complained a lot about WrestlePalooza not having good stories because they had to rush it, and now we're going to do that again. We have 3 weeks of television, that's it, to build all these stories, and instead of even taking a little bit of time to do anything, even a rematch between Cody and Drew, I would even have taken that. Instead of any of that, we're jumping to the ugliest championship in the world, throwing matches together because we don't have time to do anything else. I hope I'm wrong about John Cena, but we'll see. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't heard about this and I'm the one breaking it to you, I'm very sorry that I had to spoil this for you. I'll keep an eye on Raw and SmackDown, and we'll see if maybe Crown Jewel will be worth watching. But until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. I promise I'm more positive than this. I will see you in the next one.